tu prima favorita, Bobby here. Thank you for joining me. I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. These are my thoughts on the whole Love is Blind debacle that they decide to keep bringing back every single time for whatever reason. Episodes 1 through 11, because at the time of filming this, the weddings have not happened yet. They come out tomorrow, and I am getting ready to leave the country at the time of filming this, so I'll talk about those later. So unless you have been living under a rock, you know that Love is Blind it's back, and everybody and their moms have been reviewing it. So I just thought, you know, I'm gonna speak on what I got to say too, because there's some things that I noticed and I want to talk about. So join me down in the comments. Let me know if you agree, disagree, if I got it wrong, if I need to shut up, whatever. I like to debate. So yeah, let's go ahead and get it started. These are my thoughts on Love is Blind season 6, episodes 1 through 11. Number one, they need to just go ahead and hang it up. Like, Nick and Vanessa Lachey, just, I say hang it up because we know that it doesn't work. We know that this experiment does not work. Love obviously is not blind. And I say that because if it did work, you would have more couples that end up staying together and going through the marriage than couples that don't. So at this point, either hang it up or just openly admit that y'all are just keeping this up for the entertainment and the money that y'all are making off of all of us who are out here watching and talking about it, including myself. Yes, I know, I'm feeding into the fire also, but it don't work. Love apparently is not blind. Love has big eyes that can see. And they gonna tell you what they see, whether they like it or whether they don't like it. I will say that it is entertaining to see how the human mind works when you take looks off the table, and the way that the experiment of the pods and having people in such an enclosed space and getting so close to each other and all dating the same people. Like, it is interesting to think about it from that point and see how that works and how that affects people and their attachment styles, or the way they act in the pods versus the way they act outside the pods, the way that they act towards each other before they see each other, and the way they act after they see each other and after they see the other people, which we gonna talk about that too. So it is interesting to see it from that point of view. But like I said, hang it up or admit that at this point it's just for money and views, because it doesn't work. You don't get a high success rate with this. Nick and Vanessa didn't even meet like this, so I'm not understanding yeah. Hang it up, flat screen. At this point, they should just call it Love is Not Blind. Love ain't blind at all. Love is for clout. Yeah, hang it up. All right, at this point, I want to go ahead and get into these characters. Again, this is me commenting on what I have seen and what I have noticed from episode 1 to 11. So the pods, everybody was boring. Okay, it was interesting to see them interact with each other, but I was ready to skip on down to, all right, y'all see each other in person. I'm gonna start with Laura. I will say that her being surprised at Jeremy's cleanliness was a little bit weird to me, and maybe just because, I don't know, I feel like I've grown up in a family where the guys were like, they were pretty clean. So I'm not surprised if I go to a man's house and things are clean. I feel like they should be clean when I go to his house. They should look tidy. I get it if it kind of looks like staged or like super well put together, but there are men who care about the spaces that they live in, and that should not be surprising. That's actually kind of attractive. So I was a little taken aback by how she just kept on, it's so clean, it's staged, it doesn't look real. I'm like, girl, let that man be clean. But I do understand, because it's like, are you hiding something or somebody? But yeah, that was a little weird. I'll also say that I do like Laura's no nonsense personality, and I'm cool with her, or was cool with her, outside of the whole bean dip debacle. Now I think they've actually hashed that out, that it wasn't like and correct me if I'm wrong, but it wasn't like a racial thing. It was more that notion of flicking someone's boob. That's what a bean dip is called. But it's like, why would you tell your man, anybody for that matter, why would you tell somebody to go actually touch somebody else like in an inappropriate way? Like, especially your man, why would you tell somebody? Like, I just don't understand that. And then the way that she just kind of brushed it off, it's not that big of a deal. No, it is that big of a deal. and you lack self-awareness if you don't think it's that big of a deal. Maybe you said it in a joke. Maybe that was never supposed to leave the two of y'all's conversation, but you should have just apologized, because that was messed up. But back to her no nonsense personality, she gives me standing on business, because it only took Jeremy one good time to do something stupid, and Laura was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not. You don't get the nice me no more. You don't get the I want to fight for this no more. Like, no, you don't. And he didn't deserve that from her either. He crossed the line, and she got the F up out of there. She was done. And I love that. We live for that. We stand that type of standing on business. And the crazy part to me was she gave him the opportunity to tell the truth. Like, she set it up to where he could tell her the truth, and he still lied. Guys, if y'all don't know anything, just know that we always already know. We already know, so you might as well just tell the truth. And if we don't know, we darn sure is gonna find out almost immediately or close to it as soon as after you tell the lie. So you might as well just tell the truth. I just couldn't believe he still lied to her face. She set it up to where he could tell her the truth, and he lied and had no remorse. Ooh. Child, the fact that he was still breathing at the end of that scene. Let's move on. Before we move on, my other thing with Laura is, how you mad at Sarah Ann for DMing your man? She was wrong, and we're gonna talk about that too. But you sat up here and told Jessica Kardashian, you sat up here and told her, yeah, I think that Jimmy would still want to see you. Like, the man's married. The man made his choice. You feeding this girl's Delulu at this point. Like, I felt like that was really wrong. I felt like that was really wrong. That was really tone deaf. And it was just like, no, because you mad at a whole nother girl for sliding in your man's DMs, but you telling this girl here, like, yeah, I think that the guy who chose somebody else and is now engaged and on his way to his new life with Chelsea. We gonna talk about Chelsea, but who's on his way to his new life with Chelsea? Yeah, I think he would still want to see you. Y'all messy. All y'all messy. All of y'all. Maybe y'all all deserve each other. Y'all all messy. I had a problem with that. And maybe they cut the part where she told Jessica Kardashian that I wouldn't advise it though. Maybe they cut out the rest of what she said, but for what made it in the clip, she basically just told that girl, yeah, I think he would love to see you. I think that would be a great idea. Where? That was messed up. Let's move on for real now. Kenneth don't like Brittany. I'm not gonna say what they say that he like, because that's none of my business. But it's not her. She deserves so much better. She really did. I believe that she went into it with pure intentions. She was ready, and I mean, if there's no chemistry there, you can't force it. But I just feel like he wasted her time. Like, I feel like from the get-go, maybe, yeah, he thought she was cute or whatever. He looked like he wanted to, like, swallow her face whole. Swallowed up her face whole when they first saw each other fresh out the pods. But I was like, that was just an over-exaggeration. That was just... It was too much. It was giving too much. It was giving Oscar Award of the Year for Mr. Kenneth. Just no chemistry, no talking. When they were on the boat, like, no opportunity to just even try. Like, he didn't even try. And then to say, well, I'm not going to be talkative all the time, just like you're not going to be how you are. You're not trying, bro. You're not trying. And another thing, the affection thing for me, oh my gosh. That right there, for him to be like, oh, I've never been told that. I've always been told I was overly affectionate. Even if that's true, you don't say that to a person that you're not actively showing affection to. You are not affectionate with this girl, other than when y'all first left the pods and you was swallowed up her face. You were not affectionate to her. So to sit there and be like, oh, I just don't want to be, in your space or get in your way or make you feel like I'm doing too much when you have done nothing. The audacity of you to even tell her that, because now it's like, okay, if he's usually seen as overly affectionate and that's what people tell him, but he's not being like that with me, then it's me. Stupid, don't tell her that. Ugh, he really made me upset. He really made me. And then dolphins, shut up. Let's move on. Also, him and that phone, break it. I would have broke it. The first time, I might have gave you a chance or so, but the about the second, maybe third time you ignored me and was just sitting like this. Oh, baby, that phone would have been off the balcony. It would have been off the balcony. And you would have just been mad. Let's move on. Let's move on. I'm taking too much energy on this man, and he's not giving any. He doesn't deserve it. Jimmy, aka Jiminy Cricket. I forget the dudes whose YouTube that, and it's crazy because I watched them a lot, but they called him Jiminy Cricket, and I could not unsee it. So I've been calling him that too. His apartment was nice. It was attractive, even though he's not. That apartment was nice. That was my first impression of him. I was like, oh, it's a nice, not my first impression, but when they showed the apartments, I was like, oh, he's nice, he's neat, okay. He's not, but his place is. That was cute. I'm surprised Chelsea didn't pull I live here now. Where's my key? What's the Wi-Fi? Cause it was giving cute. It was giving cute, cozy, homey, and very like organized and clean. I will also say that fresh out the pods, he obviously was expecting Megan Fox. We're gonna talk about that too. He obviously was expecting that, but I think that he actually got over that, right? I think initially he was kind of taken aback by it and a bit disappointed, but I think he actually got himself over that to where that didn't necessarily matter to him anymore. Though there are a bunch of memes out there that do demonstrate his initial disappointment, because we all saw it. We all saw that hug and where his face. We saw it, Jimmy. We clocked you. We clocked you. But it's understandable because that's what she led with, and she did not deliver. I also don't really like the way that Jimmy, aka Jiminy Cricket, talks. Like it just, I don't know, it gives dry. That's just the way he talks. I just couldn't listen to it all day. I just couldn't, but whatever. Chelsea needs therapy. They all do. Chelsea needs therapy, and Chelsea is not ready for a relationship. She's not. That's the constant thing that I kept seeing with her, is that this girl is not ready for a relationship. Not a marriage. Especially not a marriage. She has this idea of what a relationship is supposed to look like, how her partner is supposed to act and respond to her, and she's not willing to budge on that belief at all. She's like, it's supposed to look like a perfect square or rectangle or whatever. Anything outside of that, no, I don't want to hear it. Shut it down. This is what it's supposed to be, and it's not supposed to differ from that. And that is a problem, because that is not how people work, and that is not how relationships work. She is also highly insecure, and I think that's obvious, and especially her playing the Megan Fox card. I kind of see it. I get it. The light eyes and the dark hair, whatever, like the contrast of that. Yes, I get that. But the fact that even if she had told him afterwards, after they had seen each other and they were out of the pods, okay, we still would have been like, girl, you're reaching. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. Like I said, I see it. The light eyes, the dark hair. The thing is, when you go into an experiment such as Love is Blind, where looks are not supposed to matter, you leading with something like that, especially when that other person has nothing else to go off of as far as look wise, and then you put that in their head, you did it to one up. You did it to one up. You did it so that you could have some type of advantage. It's like, at least if I put this out there, knowing that this man has no idea of anything else about me. You could have just said, yeah, I have light eyes and dark hair. You could have left it at that. And then when y'all actually saw each other, been like, yeah, some people compare it to Megan Fox. And then he would have been like, I don't see it, but whatever. But the fact that she led with that in the pods, the fact that she used that in a place where looks are not supposed to matter, it's like, yeah, you did that because you wanted to have some type of upper hand, or you didn't think that you would win without any type of acknowledgement to looks in a place where looks are not even supposed to matter. Dead wrong. Was dead wrong for that. And that's just in my opinion. If you think otherwise differently, I would love to hear it down in the comments, but that's what I think. I think it came out of a place of insecurity, even if people do tell her that. And like I said, I can see it. Kinda. But I get it, right? But no, you don't lead with that when you're when you're not supposed to even be talking about looks, when it's not supposed to matter? Why would you even bring that up? I just need her to get some therapy, build some healthy confidence, and read some books about love, compromise, being a good partner, not just wanting a good partner, but also being a good partner. Like I just need her to do a lot bit more growth and research, because she's not ready. And the fact that she is unwilling to adjust or to waver for this is what it's supposed to be, and this is how you're supposed to react to me every single time, and you're supposed to be in my face, and girl, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening in each and every relationship that you find yourself in if you don't fix that. I will also agree that she is clingy, and I don't think that it's clingy out of a place of, oh, I want to be lovey-dovey with my partner, or out of a place of affection. She is definitely clingy out of a place of insecurity and the need for constant validation. You didn't kiss me this hour, and you didn't tell me that you love me. You only said it one time today. Girl, I need you to find it. I need you to find that healthy balance, because you are not there. And as willing as Jimmy might be, as willing as any partner might be at first, eventually it gets tiring, and it's just like, I can't put up with this, because a person will, I don't want to say will never be able to give you what you need, but if you are asking for every day, every hour, every inch, every second for that person to be right here in your face, and you are not willing to see, like, if they're tired or if they are in need of something or whatever the case, like, girl, you need to get it together. You are gonna be in for a rude awakening if you don't. And I especially think that she has slight selective hearing, because for Jimmy to sit up there and say how much he loves her and all the things that he said about her, and the only thing that she clung to was when he called her clingy. This man sat up there for like 8 minutes talking about, I love you, I want this experiment to work, I chose you, whatever, validating all her experience. And then he said, I just think you're a little bit clingy, or whatever it was he said. Everything else he said went out the window. She didn't hear nothing else. She just, I'm clingy. Ooh. I had to take a lap around my living room when I was like, girl, really? And I get it, like, anybody who feels like, well, that's just how I show my affection or whatever, would feel some type of way if someone was to call them clingy. But it's the fact that he just hyped you up in every other way. He said all these other things about you and about his love for you and all of that, and the only thing you clung to was him calling you clingy, and then it just became this big old thing. I was done with her a long time ago. I was like, Jimmy, I don't even know how Jimmy's still there. I had ran for the hills long time ago. I'm not done with Chelsea yet. There's so much that I have to say about this woman. So we gonna have a little Chelsea segment right now. Her getting mad at him when he went out for his friend's birthday or celebration, whatever it was. That was a little bit too, it was too much. I was just like, he can't go out once in the blue moon. Now I understand if someone's like, I don't really go out, but it's like every weekend since we've been together, you've been going out. Every other day you've been going out, and you told me going out really isn't your thing. I'm like, this man went out, what did he say? He was gone for like an hour and a half and came right back to her, and she had an issue. There's that clinginess again. And you're mad at him for calling you clingy. Do you see why? He's better than me, because after that first conversation, I'd have left and I would have never came back. Sorry, Chelsea, I gotta go. Sorry, Chelsea dog, I gotta go. I also noticed with her that she doesn't actually lead with what she's upset about, right? She starts things off in like a roundabout way, just to bring it all back to what it is that she is truly upset about, instead of just saying, you did this thing and this is what I felt. For example, when she made the huge fuss about him going out, it was never about him going out. It was her insecurity about who he was with when he went out. So in her mind, it's like, you left, you wasn't here, my friends called me, said that they saw you out, whatever the case may be, you were with this person or whatever the case may be. Like, and it's like, okay, you started with talking about, oh, how was it when you went out? You went out. You went out. You were out without me. You were out with that bitch. Like, it was just, it was a whole thing when it's like, you could have just said like, hey, were you out with such and such? Because that's what you were really upset about. And then it turns out he wasn't even out with such and such or such and such. Like, it was just like, girl, you done argued 18 minutes about, I don't really want to be with that kind of person who goes out and da-da-da-da, when that's not even what you were upset about. She was getting on my nerves. She made my head hurt. She's making my head hurt right now. She was just fishing. Nobody told her that he was with Jess or with Michaela or whoever the other girl or whatever. Nobody told her that. She was fishing. And she caught nothing. Jiminy Cricket, I don't know how you didn't just hop on up out of that situation, but I don't know. For the people that I've been hearing say this, that Johnny and Amy are boring, Johnny and Amy are not boring. I think they just have a healthy relationship and everybody's drawn to the drama-filled couples because that's a bit more entertaining to watch. I don't think that they're boring. I think that it's sweet that they match each other's energy. I think that they genuinely have a good time with each other and they actually like each other. They really remind me of like two like teenagers just in love, you know, and I think that is sweet to see. I think it's refreshing to see. I would be surprised if they didn't make it or some crazy wild stuff came down the pipeline about either of them. But I don't think that they're boring. I think they're just, it's healthy and it's not really why people tune in, but I mean, those are the couples that you want to see, so you know that this experiment works, even though we know it don't work because you don't get a lot of them. You don't get a lot of couples that actually truly mesh and work that well. Not on this show. I feel like they just seem to be into each other. They enjoy each other. I kind of think that Johnny's kind of cute. He's kind of cute, but I'm not one to bark up somebody else's tree. I'm just saying, I think he's kind of cute. I like to see them together. I think they're both really cute. And I love Amy's dad. Like, I'm just like, yeah, give dad more screen time. Dad is our favorite. Dad is the main character now. Like, I really liked, like, I stopped at whatever else I was doing just so I can just listen to her dad talk. Like, I just thought it was so sweet and I thought it was so genuine. And she seems to have like a really healthy like relationship with her parents. So I think that is so cute. Back to Johnny. Although I think he's cute. He does give me a little bit of Jonah Hill, just in the way that he talks, like in the speed that he talks, and I don't know, just the way he talks, it just makes me think of Jonah Hill. But another thing is, I'm just like, dude, like, I get being afraid of having kids before you want them, because if you ask me what my biggest fear is, it's getting pregnant. So scared that frightens me. I'm afraid. So I truly understand that, but I'm like, y'all, it's 2024. There's vasectomies, there's condoms, there's a bunch of ways to not get somebody pregnant. It's not that hard to not get somebody pregnant. So it's like, I get it and I understand that fear wholeheartedly. Team no kids, let's go. But yeah, you can not get somebody pregnant. Like, there are ways to not get someone pregnant, and without birth control, surprisingly. Yeah. And I also like really understand the fear of birth control too, because I've never been on birth control and I personally don't ever plan to be on birth control. I am not for putting foreign substances into my body like that are going to just F up everything and mess with my whole system. I do think that it just throws you off, not only like hormonally, but like spiritually. And I just don't have to. I work too hard to get to where I am to let that mess me up. But I understand the fear. I'm right there with the fear, but I'm just saying it's 2024 and there's some ways to not have a kid. I'm just saying. Clay, I don't trust him. I don't think that he's into AD, honestly. I don't think that he's really into this experience or experiment wholeheartedly. I think that he has like his highs and lows for it. I think it's exciting for him, as it would be for anybody. But I don't really think that he's into her like that. Like, I really don't. He strikes me as the opportunity presented itself, so I signed up, and I could do marriage. That's what he strikes me as. Like, he's giving me like why not? Let's just see if it works type thing. Not necessarily like, oh, I really want this and I really came in with intentions to really meet somebody. He just gives me, yeah, it was something to do, and if I meet somebody, cool, but have I really sat and thought about marriage or thought that I would, get this far, whatever? I don't think so. I really don't think so. He's not giving me that. And I also say the boy ain't ready. I think he should be sent to therapy right along with Kenneth and Chelsea. They can go to group friends therapy together because all of them have some things that they need to work out. But the boy's not ready. He's not ready for marriage. He doesn't strike me as someone who's ready for marriage. He seems like somebody who knows how to talk a good game when it's time, who can fluff things out to make it sound good, but I don't even think he's good at that either. And I also think one of the big reasons he needs therapy, because every 5 minutes he's talking about how he don't want to let her down or cheat on her. I'm like, you don't have to cheat. That's a choice. You don't have to make that decision. Like, I don't understand why that's so hard and why that's so worrisome for you. He reminds me of a time I had forgot about. No, somebody that I used to know who was just like, yeah, my biggest fear is like becoming like my dad and like having all these kids all over the place and, not really being able to be there for that. And I was like, you don't have to do that. You know that, right? Like, you can make the choice to not do that. Like, and he was really just like, oh. You men, some of y'all men, beyond me, keep it. But yeah, I'm like, every 5 minutes, you afraid that you're gonna cheat? I'm like, girl, he's setting you up to let you know, so when he does, he's already bogged you down. It'll be like this whole, this hurts me more than it hurts you type thing when it actually happens. AD, run, girl, run, corre. And my thing too is like, it could be true, it could all be true what he's saying. Like, I don't want to let you down, I want to be the best man that I can, I don't want to hurt anybody or whatever. That could all be true, but your woman is not your therapist, and these are things that you should have fleshed out with yourself or with your therapist before you got on a show talking about you're ready to get married. These are things that you should have already been digging into and thinking about when this possibility presented itself, before this possibility presented itself, which is how I'm like, I know you're not serious because you didn't even take the time to figure this stuff out before you got on here. You're not serious. You're not serious. You're so unserious. Also, I skipped this, but when we saw the apartments or whatever, Clay's closet gave me so much anxiety. Just like the folded shirts on the top of the hanging racks. And it wasn't the fact that they were folded. It was the fact that they were just all clumped and lumped up there, and it was just too much for me. I was just like, oh, get it off the screen. Get it off the screen. I don't want to see it. No quiero ver. No lo quiero ver. I don't want to see it. It was giving me anxiety. Jeremy, in what world do you think that was okay? I was cool with him up until that point. The Hawaiian shirts was cool. His personality seemed to be cool. Him and Laura seemed to be getting along fine. Maybe they just needed to adjust more to each other and each other's personalities. But that was kind of messed up. And even if y'all did just sit and talk, I understand. Like, y'all had an experience together, whatever the case may be. Opportunity presents itself for you to talk to this person. Do it in the daylight. Do it in the afternoon where you can tell Laura, like, hey, I saw Sarah Ann, and if it's okay with you, like, we're gonna meet up tomorrow just to talk. This is where we're gonna be. That would have been more respectable than to be like, oh, she was there and I was gonna go home, but then I was like, no one's gonna dictate what I do and where I go, so I stayed, and then we ended up talking, and then I drove her home and we sat and we talked. Even if y'all didn't do anything, it's just the fact that, one, you lied about it. She gave you the opportunity to tell the truth, and you lied about it. You didn't tell her that you took the girl home, that you dropped the girl off at her house or nothing like that. You were gonna bypass all of that because you thought that Laura was on some dumb stuff and she didn't know. She clocked you. But also, it's just like, you're married, you're engaged, you made your decision, you should have shut it down. You should have shut it down when she sent you that text message talking about how her heart or whatever she said, it was still open. how her legs were still open. How she was still ready to receive. Anyways, you should have shut it down when she said that. You should have said, yeah, I'm happy where I'm at, and I appreciate you for reaching out and the time that we shared. And if anything does change, you shouldn't have said that. But if you were gonna say anything, I'll hit you up, I'll let you know, have a good life, whatever. There was no need for closure. And that's another thing. I'm just like, this whole there needs to be closure. Y'all know what experiment y'all are walking to when you walk in there. And when the person makes their choice, that's it, that's all. I don't feel like there needs to be this closure outside of the pods. I get it. It's a different type of experiment that y'all had. It's not like your everyday, oh, we were dating and we were seeing each other often and then we stopped, so we just ghosted each other, or we closed it out then. But it's like, y'all ended that stuff in the pods. But all of a sudden y'all see each other and everything's changed and I gotta get closure and we gotta actually talk and see each other. I'm like, no, that's an ego thing. That's a you thing. That's a you need some type of validation so you and this person can see each other face to face or whatever. It's not needed. And it's definitely not needed at 4, 5, and 6 a.m. in the morning. In what world do you think that was okay? Your mama, his own mama, let him know that was not okay. She said, you lucky it wasn't me. I'd have been waiting up for you in the living room, because I'd sure been waiting up ready to box like I was like, he really tried to play in her face, which is why I like that Laura was no nonsense. She got on up out of there. We stand a standing on business queen. Like we can't help but to stand that. I have nothing more to say about Jeremy. That was stupid. And apparently you're not ready to be in a relationship either. Because in what world? In what world? AD, the beauty, the body, and the brains that's not braining. I like AD. I like her a lot. But for her to have connected with Mr. Clark Kent, and I saw her face when they told her that he looked like Clark Kent. That was funny. Clock that. But the fact that she connected with Matthew, with serial killer Matthew, that was very interesting and very telling. And then the fact that she connected with baby boy Clay, that was almost too telling. I didn't like it. I've been just calling Clay Jody 2.0. I don't know if he's that bad, but he gives me baby boy vibes and I don't like it. Eso no me gusta. No, I don't like it. But my thing with AD is like, we don't mother these men. We don't fix. My whole handle on everything is Bob's the Builder. I don't fix men. I don't. You come to me whole and healed, or you get out of my face. I'm not doing it. I'm like, we are not here to do that. We ain't nobody's mamas and nobody's therapist. We can be your partner, your lover, your friend. I don't subscribe to the ride or die thing, because why would you put me in a position where I have to choose whether to ride or to die? Not a good man if you do that. But I say that to say, AD, run. I will say that she gives me that her heart is very soft, and she does like long for connection, for true, genuine connection. But she also just seems like so caught up in this man and having a man and making it work, and I get it, because you've invested a lot into this experiment. But at the same time, it's like you gotta read between the lines, you gotta see the signs. But then like meeting her mom, like it makes so much sense of why she thinks the way that she does in regards to like love and relationships. But I'm just like, with Clay, with Jody 2.0, I'm just not so sure that that's the one that you want to seek that love and connection with. It's not giving he's all about you the way that you're about him. Like following him off of a cliff is insane. That's insane. That was insane. That was wild. I do like that AD and her mom are very open to this experiment though, but I do wish that she would have given her more advice to, you know, if it's not being reciprocated, if it doesn't feel genuine, if it does feel like you're having to force it. And I think she kind of did, but I wish she would have went into it a little bit more, that, you know, it's okay to walk away. It's okay to not fight if you're the only one that's fighting this battle for this relationship. But her mom like making excuses for Clay, that's a grown man, first of all, but saying like, continue to fight, he's just afraid, basically you gotta pull it out of him. Like, no, that's the rhetoric that's pushed on us so much, especially las negras. Like, it's like, why do we have to be the ones to fight? Why do we have to be the ones to pull it out of them? Why do we have to be the ones that are so strong for everybody else? Like, who's gonna fight for me? I'm supposed to fight for me and him? Nah, mommy, you can keep it. I think AD understands that she's beautiful, but I also just feel like she doesn't fully understand how much that she has to offer and how much that she has to give somebody, to the point where she values what she has over what she wants something to be. It's like she's worth someone who's willing to put in the same energy as her, and not someone who's gonna bring up, oh, I don't want to cheat on you and I don't want to let you down every 5 minutes. It's like, for his mind to just automatically go there, he's not thinking on the same level that she is about this experiment, about this marriage, about their relationship. She's looking towards the future and how do we continue to grow together and build, and he's over here like, let me get her prepared for if I cheat. When she truly like sees her own worth and her own value and values that over having to fight for something or to make way for somebody who's too afraid, or to make them see, you know, on the same page as her. Once she heals from that and has that understanding, then she'll understand that something that's for you, you won't have to fight for it. You won't have to force it. You won't have to guide somebody onto to your lane. Like, it's just gonna happen naturally. So that's what I want for her. All right, this video is like going on longer than what I had expected. The last thing I'm gonna touch on is just the different touch points of the party and what I noticed when they were all brought together. Jess was there, Trevor was there, Sarah Ann trifling behind was there. Like, so these are just my final thoughts, and then we gonna close this out. So I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I just don't feel like there were any needs for these couples to have closure outside of the pods. Again, I understand it's a different experiment than when you meet somebody out and about in the regular everyday world, but once that stuff was shut down in the pods, that's it. Once he didn't choose you in the pods, that was it. There was it. And once you reached out to him through, you know, message or whatever, you shouldn't have done that. But that should have been it. Like, y'all don't need this closure that y'all are looking for outside of the pause. I just don't think that you do. But I could be wrong. Y'all let me know in the comments if you agree or not. I don't feel like that Jimmy and Jess needed to go off and have a conversation either. Y'all shut, like, again, y'all shut stuff down in the pod. What was the point? For TV, I guess, for more, ooh, what's happening type stuff. Jess gives me trife. Yes, you're hot, but get your hot on somewhere else and go, just move on, move around, move on. Yes, he's gonna melt when he sees you. Just let him see you and just keep walking by. There was no reason for y'all to sit down and have, and I understand y'all got close in the pods, but he broke it off with you in the pods and chose another girl in the pods. Let it go. Let it go. The he wants to see me was uncalled for. When she was telling the producers, oh, don't deny it, or whatever she said when she was at that little table, that was uncalled for. That's like girl talk conversation, something that you tell your friends. That's not something you put out on national television, because now you look like an a-hole. You look trifling. You look trifling. The waterside heart to heart was cute and would have been okay up until he was like, well, you were always my number one choice. Again, like, in what world do you think that's okay? You got a whole fiance sitting back there that you did choose. So to tell another girl that she is still your number one choice. Jiminy Cricket trying to get squashed like the bug he looked like. Like, I was just like, bro, y'all are insane. Y'all are wild for this. Trevor sitting there with Chelsea, trying to flex his beefy arm muscle. I was like, boy, put it down. We see you. You big as a redwood tree. We see you. You're beefy. Okay, we got it. You don't need to sit here all uncomfortable and discombobulated because you trying to show off your beefy arms to the girl who was your number one choice. That she probably should have chose you. You probably would have been able to bring her down a notch or something, because Chelsea make my head hurt. She still make my head hurt. Sarah Ann is definitely one of those girls, and she gives slight pick me. She gives slight pick me. She's not necessarily a girl's girl either, which is okay for her if you choose not to be a girl's girl, whatever, but she was downright disrespectful. Laura should be Laura should have did. Laura should have did something. Maybe she shouldn't have, but man, she should have beat that to the curb. Like, that was insane to me. That was insane. And then she was crying. I don't think anything I did was wrong and I don't regret. Of course you don't regret it. I'm not gonna say you a home wrecker. You didn't wreck that home. He did. And she was right. Like, she was right in the sense that Jeremy's loyalty should have been to his wife. But still, it's like you had an experience with this girl also in the pods where y'all were somewhat friends or cordial or whatever. So for you to just feel like it was okay or nothing was wrong with what you did, basically reaching out to her man, like, one, it was kind of weird for AD to like reprimand her or whatever, because it's like, girl, go worry about Jody 2.0. But also, like, I wish AD would have asked her, well, what if the tables were turned and you did end up with him and then Laura sent him that message that you sent? How would you have felt? Because I don't think she thought about it that way. I do believe that she believes what she did was not ill intent. But I just don't think that she's thinking of it from a deeper level. I think she's thinking of it based off solely off of her feelings. And it's like, that's good, but baby, you need a good combination of sense and sensitivity. You need a good combination of logic and the heart. Like, you can't just think from one all the time. You can't just think from the other all the time. And in this case, you should have thought more logically than based off of your feelings, considering the fact that this man is going to get married. He's off to have, or was off to have a whole fiance. Like, yeah, and you do look bad now. Like, you do look bad in front of everybody. But that's the choice that you made when you decided that you were going to follow your feelings and send that message to somebody else's fiance. But anyway, y'all, this video was long enough. My head hurt. Chelsea's making my Chelsea made my head hurt. But these were just my thoughts over Love is Blind season 6 episodes 1 through 11. Again, the next episodes will be, I believe, the marriages or the actual weddings, and then after that the reunion. So will I be talking about that? I'm not really sure, but I do hope that y'all enjoy my take on all of this. That was a whole lot. But please leave some comments down below. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Share this video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Again, this is tu prima favorita, Bobby here. Thank y'all for joining me, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.